Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I am stoked you're here. First off, just want to say thank you to the channel members. Thank you all. I appreciate you more than you know. And I want to thank any of you who've come in here for the first time, for the fifth time, for the 10th time. I welcome all of you. If you want to do a super solid and you have the time and you're so inclined, if you'll hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, it'll really help me out. Today, I was going to talk about a knife that I had resisted for a long time. I do not know why. Maybe because it was priced more than the other towels that I had. But I picked this up a couple of weeks ago, have been carrying it, have been testing it. As you guys know, if you've been around the channel, I'm a big supporter and fan of Kunwu knives. If not, I'm a big supporter and fan of Kunwu knives. And we'll talk about this knife, which is the Kunwu S Tao. It is, and we'll look at the regular towels first, but it's a multi-deployment knife that has a regular low-profile flipper tab, a front flipper, thumb hole, and middle finger flick. The S Tao stands for sheep's foot. So the original towel, or the original big towel I should say, was a drop point. Drop point blade, same multiple deployments, did not have the thumb hole. However, it had the flipper tab and the front flipper. But again, the same knife, S Tao, sheep's foot, Tao, is the first model. So what's unique and what's changed about this knife, some of the similarities. First, you've got the same very nice machined milling on your edges, knock down corners, nothing sharp on this knife at all. You've got this very nice orange peel titanium handle with Damascus pivot collar. You got a titanium clip, but the knife came with two replacement clips, two replacement wire clips, replacement bearings, and hardware, which I always like to see. This blade is, for me, one of my favorite styles, the sheep's foot. It's a tall, flat grind, and instead of being an M390, which the Tao and the X Tao, which I'll show you shortly, was in, this one is in VANAX Super Clean. So you've got VANAX steel, you've got titanium, you've got a frame lock, you've got a sheep's foot blade that is like every other Kunwu I've gotten from the factory, heat treated, I'm assuming very well, but sharper than sharp, razor sharp. I love Kunwu, and if you guys know, I talk about this quite a bit, especially when I was reviewing the Pulsar and I've used it in my best knife of 2023 and things like that. I'm a big believer, we all are different in what we think, what we like, but I have experienced many Kunwus, and I own many Kunwus, 5 I think, and I'm not a fan of the detent in their bar lock. However, of all the knife brands that I support, that I like, that I enjoy, I'm convinced that Kunwu, and I've told them this in DMs, to please, for example, make the Django in a frame lock version, because their frame locks to me are among some of the finest in detent, in action, in fidgetability. There's not a lot of scalloped area out here for lock bar access, but for some reason, because of the thinness of the knife and the way it's chamfered, you can go straight in, and it's very easy to disengage the lock without any discomfort or stress on your fingers. So when we look at towels and the I guess we would say the evolution of the Tao. The S Tao is the most recent that came out. Thank God it came out in a frame lock because it made a desirable knife for me. The Tao before that I picked up was the X Tao. This was the first axis lock. Really wanted to try it. It has the same milling around the edges, orange peel titanium. This one, if I'm not mistaken, is in LMAX. Has thumb studs instead of a thumb hole, and then it has the axis style bar lock instead of the frame lock. This is the wire clip that they shipped with, and there's a wire clip that this one comes with if you prefer that. If you take this out, you've got these same two grooves, so you can just put your wire clip in. I think it's a really neat design. What's great about the X-Lock, in my opinion, is it's probably one of the smoothest. So you can see there I have no detent. Very little. But it comes home and feels very solid. So it's very functional. There's nothing wrong with this knife. It's just, you know, we all get into tactile sensations that we like. And for me, it is natural detent. I prefer a natural detent over a spring detent all day long. The knives are basically identical in blade shape and size. However, the detents are night and day. So the S Tao gets a huge win from me for utilizing Kunwu's frame lock, which, like I said, is one of my favorite frame locks in the game, for expanding on the Tao model to come up with this really nice sheep's foot design that has a swedge up here on the tall flat, great jimping, small little opening hole, and I guess that's by design, because if I was going to give any constructive feedback or any suggestions for improvement, if this hole was just a little bit wider or longer or taller so that you could get your finger, I have to kind of bring my finger back to use it. Now again, the hole most people don't use. The flipper tab is dialed perfectly, low profile, unfailable. So again, the detent is done great. They once again have upped the game in blade steel. The first big Tao was M390, the X Tao was LMAX, and now we're using VANAX, which is one of my favorite modern steels. You've got milled titanium handles, so you've got a lot of weight relief here. I love Kunwu's pivot. You have absolutely no blade play, solid lockup, and just the smoothest action on a knife that I hate front flipping on. I can do all the little front flip tricks with this, with the exception of the reach around, which I probably can from here just because my finger's so short. I knew I was going to throw it out of my hand, but that's what I do for you guys. But yeah, guys, this is the Kunwu S Tao. Let's do a couple of quick size comparisons to other knives, and then we will get some dimensions, a weight, and we will carry on. So it's a full-size knife. That is it next to our Satin Dave improved cold steel Formax and our Civivi Baby Banter, much smaller, or a little smaller than the Formax, a good bit larger than the Baby Banter. Let's look at it next to a Benchmade Bug Out. Another weak detent, no detent knife. It's just an axis lock thing, guys. I'm not a hater. I just have preferences. And the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. So you will see here that it's just a hair shorter than the Paramilitary 2 and about an inch longer than the Benchmade Bug Out. So if we grab our Javon promotional replacement tape measure that we had to get from Amazon and put another sticker on, the overall length of this knife is 8 inches with a 3.5 inch blade, 4.5 inch handle, 3.25 inch cutting area, inside grip of 3.5 inches from right here to right here. That's 3.5 inches. I use the choil, even though it's not angled. It's still a choil, so you've got 4 inches from where I hold the knife right here to back here. Let's break out our calipers real quick and our scale. I'm trying to keep Tippy at bay, guys. She's pacing around my review table, so at any given time, you can see white feet and black fur come jump in here, and we are working with 0.1240 blade stock on a right under a 1/2 inch thick knife, 0.4825. For shits and giggles, I will see how close I can get to probably a very inaccurate blade measurement, because I don't even really know where to measure from, so I just go to the close to the tip as I can get. 0.0190, .0110, and disregard these measurements, guys. You saw how slicey it was. I don't know what this means. I just see people that know what they're doing do it, and it seems like a valid I can't get it up front, but it looks like it's a little thicker up front. Anyway, I don't trust myself with calipers. If I were you guys, in full fairness, I wouldn't trust me with calipers either. The way I judge sharpness is slicing through paper, which I know that that is not representative of how well and how sharp and how defined an edge is, but it works for me. So the S Tao, I am guessing 4.2 ounces. Out of curiosity, the X Tao is 4.45 ounces. I was not expecting that. I was expecting this one to be heavier. However, this one does feel a little heavier. And let's see what the axis lock version, 5.3. So the weight has been reduced in the S Tao. The blade steel has been improved, in my opinion. That's subjective. They're all good steels. I like VANAX. I like its corrosion resistance. I think the blade is an improvement. Some people don't like sheep's feet. I do. What I love about this knife that they did on the original Tao was you had the traditional flipper tab and the front flipper tab. And in the S Tao, we've added my favorite method of deployment, so that's a win. But over last year's model, or the last model of Tao, the axis lock version, you didn't have a front flipper or your traditional flipper. You only had these little angle thumb studs, which work. But again, there's just very little, for me, pleasurable snap that a true mechanical detent gives you. But guys, that in a nutshell is the Kunwu S Tao. Glad to have it added to my Kunwu collection, which is an X Tao, a Big Tao, and now the Tao S. I do have a Pulsar, which I don't carry too much, even though I've magnet modded it because it's a bar lock. And I've got my knife of the year, one of my favorites, the Pulsar. So guys, you'll see this knife pop up. I want to say I picked this one up at either DLT, I saw it, or at River's Edge Cutlery. Brand new, so they release them from time to time. And if you've been looking for one and you missed out on it at first, I did, because I did not justify the extra $80, $90 from what I'd been used to paying. But since I was paying those prices and passed on this knife, I've kind of upped what I pay for knives. So this, when it came back available, it was kind of I've been wanting that. I didn't have to think about it as much, and grabbed it. And I don't regret it. It's a great knife. Kunwu S Tao. It's been in my pocket all day. It'll go back in my pocket after the interview, or after the interview. What kind of weird brain misfire was that? I'm not interviewing the knife, after the overview of the knife. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for all the support in the channel, for watching my videos, for commenting on my videos, for coming to the live streams, for being my friend. And please, let's look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out to each other. Go forward with love in your heart. And please choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.